All right. We're going to go ahead and start today having a seat on the mat. Go ahead and have a seat however's comfortable, whether that's legs crossed, feet on the floor, legs straight out. Let the hands fall to wherever's comfortable. Start to close the eyes. Start to focus on the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Taking this time to recognize how the breath makes us feel. Starting to put all that focus on it. Moving in through the body. Filling all the spaces in the lungs. And then feeling it leave the body with each exhale. Also taking this time as we focus on that breath to start to let the day go. Starting to bring ourselves into our rooms and onto our mats. So take these next few breaths to start to focus and let everything go. We'll take just a couple more breaths here. And when you feel ready, take those hands, let them fall down by the sides. And it's up to you at this point if you want to keep those eyes closed or start to slowly open them back up. But as we inhale, we're going to lift the arms up. As we exhale, turn those palms out and drop those arms down. Moving with our breath here, inhaling, bringing those arms up. And exhale, drop the arms down. And inhaling up. Exhale back down. We'll do it a couple more times. Inhale, bring those arms up. And exhale down. And last one with that full movement, inhaling the arms up. And exhale back down. And this time we'll inhale those arms back up. As we exhale, we're going to start to twist, opening those arms down to that left side, letting those hands come down. Bringing that gaze off to the side or over that back shoulder, whatever's comfortable in the neck right here. And take some deep breaths. Still warming up the spine, so not going too deeply into this twist. On the next inhale, we're going to start to lift those arms back up, bringing ourselves back forward. As we exhale, start to drop those arms down, twisting over to that right side. Again, letting that gaze come to wherever's comfortable. Taking those deep breaths. Still just waking up that spine, waking up that neck. And on our next inhale, bringing those arms back up, twisting ourselves back forward. As we exhale, we're going to drop that left arm down onto the mat. Just give ourselves a little fold over that left side. Feeling all the spaces in that right side open up. On our next inhale, we're going to bring ourselves back up, lifting that arm. Exhale, drop that right arm down and bend over that right side. Again, feeling all the space in that left side open up. Take a few deep breaths. And on that next inhale, bringing ourselves back up, lifting that arm. Exhale, turn those palms, drop those arms back down. We're going to come up onto our hands and our knees. And we're going to squat ourselves back onto those heels. If we can, you can open up the legs if it makes it a little bit more comfortable. Open up those feet. Or you can stay into our sitting position for just a moment here. But we'll inhale, bring those arms up. And as we exhale, drop the arms back down, push or connecting the hands behind the back, and then starting to open up that chest, pushing those arms away from the body as far as we can, and bring the gaze up. We'll hold it for just a breath here. And then as we exhale, start to bring that gaze forward, release those shoulders, release the hands. If we stayed onto our sitting position, we're going to want to come up onto those knees. We can stay in a sitting position for this next little move, and I'll go through that with you guys as well. But we're going to kind of move dynamically with our breath on our knees. So when we inhale, we're going to bring those arms up, start to lift ourselves up on the knees. As we exhale, we're going to come down onto all fours. Take an inhale, drop the belly down, gaze up, and exhale, start to tuck the spine and roll ourselves back into child's pose, bringing the forehead down. As we inhale, we're going to bring ourselves back up, and we'll roll that spine up again. Exhale, come to a neutral position here. Inhale, walk the hands back, sitting ourselves back down. So we're going to move through that. If we're on the feet, or on the sitting position, we'll do the same thing, but we'll just inhale, bringing those arms up, and exhale forward and walk the hands back. So not as many movements, but still getting the same stretch. So inhale, bring the arms up, come up onto those knees. Exhale, fold ourselves onto those hands. Inhale, drop that spine. Exhale, start to roll back, dropping down onto those heels, sliding those hands forward, dropping the forehead down. Inhale, coming back up onto those hands. Exhale here, and inhale, start to walk those hands back, sitting back on those heels. We'll do that a couple more times. So inhale, bring the arms up, coming up onto those knees. Exhale, coming onto the hands. Inhale, drop that spine, gaze up. Exhale, start to roll that spine, coming down onto those heels. Sliding the hands out, forehead down. Inhale, we're going to come back up onto those hands into that neutral spine. And as we inhale, walk those hands back to those knees, sitting back down, bringing ourselves back up. We'll do that one more time. So inhale, bring the arms up, sitting up on those knees. Exhale, fold over, coming onto those hands. Inhale, drop that belly down, bring that gaze up. Exhale, starting to roll that spine, coming down onto the heels. Sliding those hands out, forehead to the mat. Inhale, coming up onto all fours. And then slowly start to walk those hands back to those knees. And we'll slide the hands up, bringing ourselves into that sitting position on those legs. Again, we're going to hold this for a little bit, so if you want to go down into an actual sitting position onto the mat, feel free. But we're going to inhale, bring the arms up. And as we exhale, we're going to drop the left hand down, coming down, stretching over our side. And then we're going to inhale, coming back up, moving with our breath here. Exhale, drop the hand down, folding over that side. Inhale, bringing that arm back up. Exhale, drop that left arm down, fold over that left side. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, dropping the right arm down. And we'll do it one more time each side. So inhale, bring that right arm up. Exhale, drop that left arm, folding over that left side. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, drop that right arm down, fold over that right side. And inhale, bring ourselves up. Exhale, we're going to take those hands coming into a tabletop, so both hands on the mat. Feel free, if you have a little bit of tingle or numbness in those feet, to lift those feet up off the mat and kind of roll those ankles, maybe give those toes a nice little wiggle, get that feeling back in those toes. Drop those feet back down. We're going to tuck the toes behind us and start to lift those hips up towards the sky. Coming into a down dog. And we can pedal those feet out here. Moving from side to side. Stretching those legs, waking them up. Feel free to hold one side a little bit longer. If it's a little bit tighter. Moving at your own pace here. And then let those legs come into stillness. Take a deep inhale. And exhale it out. On our next inhale, we're going to walk the feet up to the hands. Folding ourselves over those legs. And inhale, coming all the way up. Bringing those arms. Exhaling them down. Inhale, bring the arms up. Gaze going up towards the thumbs. Exhale, opening those hands. Swan diving over the legs. Inhale, slide those hands right under those knees, coming halfway up. Exhale, folding back down. Inhale, step those feet back to a high plank or drop down onto those knees. Exhale, coming all the way onto the mat. Untuck those toes. Inhale, lifting just that chest. Exhale, down. Inhale, pushing ourselves back to down dog. So we can go through all fours here and lift those hips. Taking a breath in that down dog. On that next inhale, walk those feet up to those hands. folding over the legs. And inhale, come all the way up. Bringing those arms. Exhaling them down. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, swan dive over those legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step those feet back to that high plank or onto those knees. Exhale, come all the way down. Untuck those toes. Inhale, lift just that chest. Exhale, down. Inhale, come back to down dog. Taking that breath here. And on that next inhale, walk the feet up to the hands. Folding ourselves over the legs. And inhale, come all the way up. Bring those arms. Exhale and down. Doing it one more time. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, opening those arms, swan diving over the legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step back to that high plank or onto those knees. Exhale, coming all the way down onto the mat. Untuck those toes. Inhale, lifting that chest. Exhale, fold, dropping down. Inhale, push back to that down dog. We'll hold this down dog here for a couple breaths. Allowing ourselves to reconnect with that breath if we lost it. Refocusing on it. Feel free whenever we're in our down dog here. If you need to pedal those feet out, stretching those legs, feel free. We'll hold it for another breath here. And on that next inhale, we're going to lift that right leg up. As we exhale, sweep that leg forward, dropping that foot between the thumbs. And take a second here to kind of adjust those feet so they're on those railroad tracks and not straight behind each other. We're going to take the hands, place them on the thigh, give ourselves a little assistance up. And then once we're up in that standing position, we can always adjust those feet out. Making sure that knee stays over that ankle, those hips are facing nice and forward. We'll inhale, bring those arms up. And as we exhale, start to bring the hands down, bending at the elbows, opening those hands up nice and wide. So we're opening up the chest here. So if we want to get those shoulders a little angled back to open that chest up a little bit more, feel free. Wherever's comfortable. We'll hold this for a couple breaths. On the next inhale, we're going to lift those arms back straight up. As we exhale, drop those arms down, bringing the hands behind the back, letting them rest on that lower back, either stacking the hands or taking those fists and bumping them together. We're going to take an inhale here. And as we exhale, we're going to start to bend that upper body over that front leg. Hovering over that leg here. If we want, we can take the hands, bring them down onto the mat, giving ourselves a little more support. Holding here for a couple breaths. If we're bending over that leg, we want to make sure we have that straight line going from the lower back all the way up to the crown of the head. So we're not folding ourselves over that leg. Take one more breath. And on that inhale, lift ourselves back up. We'll release the hands and step that front leg forward to the top of the mat and give that right leg a nice shake. And we'll take those feet, placing them back down onto the mat and walk them so they're about hip distance apart or so. We're gonna start to sink those hips down like we're gonna sit into an imaginary chair behind us. So you can take the hands on the hips, kind of push those hips back a little bit, start to sink them down, and then swing those arms forward when we feel ready. So they're coming straight out of the shoulders. Gaze is facing forward. The weight we have all in the heels, so we're light on those toes and tucking those tailbones so we're not arching our back here. Taking a couple breaths. And on that next inhale, popping ourselves back up. Exhale, let those arms come down. We're going to start to go into a balance with that right leg as our planted leg. So I'm going to stay facing forward because we're eventually going to tilt ourselves forward. So as with all of our balances, we're going to find that spot on the floor that's not moving. Let those hands kind of come out to the sides, giving ourselves that balance. We'll slowly start to roll up those left toes, bringing that knee up to the chest. And then we're going to start to swing that left leg going straight back, tilting the upper body forward, flexing that left toe so those toes are pointing towards the ground. And we'll just keep the arms out wide here. Holding it for a couple breaths. Trying to keep as straight of a line as we can between the heel of the foot and the crown of the head. Focusing on our breath here. Taking one more deep inhale and exhale. And slowly bend that front leg, drop that foot down, come to the top of the mat, and shake those legs out. And letting ourselves come down to our mat. We'll inhale, bring those arms up, gaze going up. Exhale, open those arms, swan back over those legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Take those hands, place them on the mat. As we inhale, we're going to step back to a down dog. Take a couple breaths here. Feel free to drop into a child's pose if you need to get off those legs or give those shoulders a little rest. Again, always using that down dog to catch the breath if we've lost it or refocusing on it. On our next inhale, we're going to lift our left leg, this time with a bend in that knee. As we exhale, shifting that leg forward, dropping that foot between those thumbs. And taking that opportunity here to kind of walk those feet so they're on those railroad tracks and not directly behind each other. Taking the hands, placing them on the thigh, giving ourselves that a little assist up. And again, once we're in that standing position, we can adjust those feet even more, making sure that knee stays over that ankle. And those hips are facing nice and straight forward. We'll inhale, bring the arms up. And as we exhale, start to put a bend in those elbows, opening those hands nice and wide Again, opening that chest here, opening that heart. So feel free if you want to kind of retract those shoulders back or just whatever's comfortable here. Taking those deep breaths. We'll hold it for just 1 or 2 more breaths here. On the next inhale, straightening those arms back up. As we exhale, dropping those arms down, letting those hands come down behind the back. Again, either stacking those hands. If we're stacking the hands, we want the opposite hand on top this time. Or we can take those fists and bump them together on that lower back. Taking that inhale here. And as we exhale, folding ourselves straight over that leg. Again, we can take those hands, drop them alongside the foot, resting those hands on the mat, helping ourselves out a little bit here. Wherever we're at, we want to try to keep that crown of the head in that straight line with that lower back as much as we can. Try not to fold ourselves over that leg. Holding it for a couple breaths. And we'll take 1 more breath here. And on that next inhale, lifting ourselves back up. We'll release those hands and step that back foot forward and shake that left leg out. Taking those feet, placing them down onto the mat. Again, walking those feet so they're about that hip distance apart here. We're going to take the hands, place them onto the hips, start to sink those hips back like we're going to sit into that chair. So we'll start to put a bend in those knees, folding out those hips, sinking down, straightening those arms out. And the weight's all in the heels here, so we're light on the toes. Not arching that back, so tucking that tailbone in. Taking those deep breaths. We'll hold it for 1 more breath here. And on that next inhale, popping ourselves back up. Exhale, let those arms come down. And we'll move on to that balance on the left side. So finding that spot on the floor that's not moving. Letting those hands kind of float out to the side. And then we'll slowly start to roll up on those right toes. Lifting that right knee to the chest. And then taking that right foot, kicking it back behind us while tilting that upper body forward. Flexing those right toes down to the floor. The good thing about these balance poses, you can always get back into them if you fall out. So taking those hands, letting them come out to the side like that airplane. Taking those deep breaths. Trying to keep that straight line between the heel of the foot up to the crown of the head. Holding it for a couple more breaths here. And exhale, drop that foot down, shake that leg out. Shake that right leg, shake that left leg. And place those feet back down onto the mat. We'll inhale, bring the arms up, gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, open those arms, folding over the legs. Inhale, slide those hands halfway. Exhale, fold back down. As we inhale, step those feet back to a down dog. And start to come down onto the knees. Take a much deserved child's pose here. So take those big toes, knocking them together. If you want, you can walk the knees out a little bit wider and start to sink those hips down over those heels. Slide those hands out, forehead to the mat. Take a few deep breaths. If those shoulders need a little rest, you can take the arms, slide them down right alongside those legs. Wherever you're at, take this opportunity to refocus on that breath. Again, taking time to recognize it, see how it makes us feel, and feeling it move in the body. We'll take a couple more breaths here. And on that next inhale, starting to lift ourselves back up. Coming up onto all fours. Untucking those toes from each other. And we'll tuck them up onto the mat. And start to lift those hips up, coming into a down dog. Taking a little bit of time here to maybe just see the difference in our down dog now as from when we very first started our practice. Maybe those feet are a little bit closer to the floor. Those legs may be a little bit more fatigued. Just take the notice of how your body is right now. We'll take one more breath here. And on the next inhale, walk the feet up to the hands. Folding ourselves over the legs. We're going to hang out in this fold for just a little bit. So feel free to put a little bit of a bend in the knees if those legs feel a little bit tight still. Let that head hang here. And take a hold of the opposite elbow with the opposite hand. Just letting everything hang. Feeling that lower back stretch all the way up to the crown of the head. And now we'll sway side to side. And let ourselves come back center. And release those hands down. And to let that head one more time just hang there. And on that next inhale, put a bend in those knees. Take the hands onto the thighs and slowly start to roll ourselves up, making sure we're breathing deep as we've had that head down for quite a while here. Letting the blood slowly come back out so we don't get super dizzy. Bring that head up, roll those shoulders down, let the hands come down to the sides. Opening up those hands nice and wide. Take a deep inhale in. And exhale it out. We'll open those eyes back up. We're going to take the left foot, step it back nice and long onto the mat. So that back foot is going to be parallel with the mat. And then we'll take that front foot and also turn it so it's parallel with the mat as well. And take a second to line those toes up so they're parallel with each other. And then we're gonna take those toes and just angle them so they're pointing off to the sides of our mat here. So we'll take the arms, inhale, bring them up. As we exhale, we're gonna start to bend those knees, bring those arms out to the side, opening those hands wide, just like we did earlier on the practice. And inhale, we're gonna straighten those legs, bring those arms back up. We'll move through that just a couple more times. So exhale, start to drop, or sorry, inhale, drop it down. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, come back up. And we'll do it, let's see, 2 more times. So exhale, dropping back down. And inhale, come back up. Last one here. Exhale, dropping back down. And inhale up. And on this exhale, we'll fold all the way down between the legs. Feel free to take those feet here and kind of angle them back so those toes are pointing forward if that's a little bit more comfortable on those legs. Letting ourselves hang in between those legs here for just a breath or so. Let that head hang. Let the shoulders hang. Take those deep breaths. And we'll take those hands, placing them right in front of the face. Straighten those elbows. We're going to start to walk the hands over to the left side, trying to keep the knees straight. If we need to put a bend in that left knee, we can. But we're going to try to walk as far as we can until we start to feel the stretch all the way down the back of that left leg. We're feeling the stretch. We don't want to feel any pain. So wherever we're at, once we feel that stretch again, we're going to stop there. If we start to walk over and don't feel too much of a stretch, we can take the right hand, place it on that left ankle, and kind of start to pull that upper body towards that leg. But only if we're not feeling any stretch are we going to move this deep into that pose. Take a few breaths. And we'll start to release the hands from that leg, walking ourselves back center. Feel free if you need to kind of bend those knees out a little bit here, kind of going back and forth, and straighten those legs back out. And we'll move right into walking over to that opposite side. So this time walking those hands over to that right side. Again, going just where we start to feel the stretch down the back of that leg. No pain, just stretch. And one side might be a little bit looser than the other side, and that's completely normal. Again, if we don't feel much of a stretch, we can start to take that left hand, wrapping it on that right ankle, and starting to pull that upper body towards that leg. Again, only doing this if we have that flexibility there. And take those deep breaths. And we'll start to release those hands, walking ourselves back center. Again, if you need to bend those knees out here, feel free. Straighten those legs back up. We'll hang for just a second. Maybe take a notice here. Maybe we're hanging just a little bit closer to the ground. Take a breath. And slowly start to walk those hands towards the front of the mat, rotating those legs. And step that front foot back to a down dog. And this will be our last down dog of the evening. So take one more notice of those legs. Maybe they feel even looser than they did just a moment ago. And we'll slowly start to come down onto those knees. Untuck those toes. Start to sink those hips back so they're back onto those heels. So again, if this is too much to be sitting on those legs, we can sit all the way down on the mat if it starts to hurt the knees here. You can take a bolster or anything, a pillow, and kind of put it between the legs also to kind of give you a little bit of a support to sit on as well if you have that available. But excuse me, what we're going to do here is we'll inhale, bring the arms up. And as we exhale, we're going to drop the hands down, start to lean ourselves back. So we can take one arm at a time if that's more comfortable, or you can start to drop both arms back behind you, letting them come down onto the mat. And we can be on domed fingers or on flat palms, whatever's comfortable. And we'll start to shift the heart up towards the sky, opening those shoulders, opening that chest up, bring that gaze up, taking those few breaths here. Again, if you're down in the full sitting position, you can still get those hands back behind you. Taking a couple breaths here, opening that heart up. And we'll slowly start to fold ourselves back and bring ourselves back forward. Inhale, bring those arms up. And as we exhale, come down onto those hands. And we're going to come up onto our hands and our knees. And walk those knees so they're right under those hips. Hands are right under those shoulders. We're going to take an inhale and drop that belly down. Bring that gaze up. Exhale, roll that spine, tuck that chin. Inhale, drop that belly down, bring that gaze up. Exhale, roll that spine, tuck that chin. Inhale, dropping the belly down, bring that gaze up. Exhale, roll that spine, tuck that chin. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, dropping that belly down, bringing that gaze up. And exhale, roll that spine, tuck that chin. On that next inhale, coming to a neutral spine here. And we're going to make our way to have a seat all the way on our mat. Taking those feet straight out in front of us here. We'll take the left foot, placing it onto the mat, and cross that foot over so it's on the outside of that right knee. Sitting up nice and tall here. Take a deep inhale. And as we exhale, start to twist that upper body towards that bent leg, taking that right arm alongside that leg, bringing that gaze over that back shoulder. Feeling the twist all the way down that spine. Again, only twisting as far as is comfortable on that back here. And take those deep breaths. And we'll slowly start to bring ourselves back forward. And uncross that leg, straighten that leg out. Feel free to kind of give those legs a little shake here. And then we'll take that right foot, place it onto the mat. And cross that foot over to the outside of that knee. Sitting up nice and tall here, taking a deep inhale. And as we exhale, starting to twist that upper body towards that bent leg, taking that left arm alongside that leg, bringing that gaze over that back shoulder as far as is comfortable. And take those deep breaths. And slowly start to bring ourselves back forward. We'll uncross that leg, straighten that leg out, give those legs a nice little wiggle here. And we'll find ourselves making our way all the way down onto our mats. We'll take the feet, place them on the mat. Try to walk those feet as close to those hips as we can get them. Take the arms alongside the body. We're going to do some movement more with our breath here. So as we inhale, we're going to start to lift those hips up towards the sky. Start to lift those hands, rotating those shoulders so those hands come up overhead. As we exhale, we're going to start to drop those hips down, bringing those arms back down alongside the body. Inhale, lifting those hips up, bringing those arms, rotating them up overhead. Exhale, dropping those hips down, letting those arms come back down alongside the body. Inhale, lifting those hips, bringing those arms up. Exhale, dropping those hips down, letting those arms come down. Doing it a couple more times here. Inhale, lifting those hips, bringing those arms. Exhale, dropping those hips down, letting those arms come back down. Doing it one more time. Inhale, lift those hips, bring those arms. And exhale, drop those hips down, bringing those arms back down. We'll take those legs, place them all the way down on the mat. Give them just a little shake here. And then take the left foot, place it onto the mat. And then lift that foot up, bring that knee into the chest. Take the right hand, place it on the outside of that left knee. We'll take the left hand, place it out to the side to kind of give us a little support. And we're going to take that left leg, shift it over the body, starting to put that twist in that back here. And take those deep breaths. One more breath here. And then we'll take that right hand, place it on the inside of that left knee this time, and slowly start to push that knee back up, bring that spine over. Slowly taking that left foot, placing it down onto the mat, and letting that foot come all the way down. And we'll take that right foot now, place it onto the mat. Take the right arm, we'll prepare a little bit ahead of time here, going straight out to the side, bringing that knee into the chest. Take the left hand on the outside of that right knee and start to bring that knee over that body, twisting on that side. And take those deep breaths here. And we'll take that left hand, placing it on the inside of that right knee. Slowly start to bring that leg back over the body. Place that foot down onto the mat and then let that leg come all the way down. We'll take those arms up overhead, doing one final stretch here. So stretch those arms all the way up. Stretch those legs all the way down. Full body stretch, just like we're waking up in the morning. And then let it all fall down onto the mat. Let those legs fall to wherever's comfortable. Start to bring the arms down alongside the body. Begin closing the eyes. Refocusing on that breath. Feeling the breath move in through the nose, down the back of the throat, moving in all the spaces of the lungs, all the way down to those toes and fingertips. Feeling it leave the body on that same path with each exhale. Taking this time to start to clear the mind of any thoughts we might have. Letting all the stresses that we're holding, or any tension that we have, just melt away with each exhale. Feeling ourselves sink deeper and deeper into our mats. Knowing that these next few minutes are your time to not have to worry about anything, to not have to think about anything, to just be with yourself in your room and on your mat. Start to bring a little life back into the body by wiggling the fingers and toes. Start to roll the wrists and ankles. Rock your head from side to side. Begin deepening your inhales and exhales. And when you feel ready, we'll take one foot, place it on the mat, and follow it by the other. And slowly take one knee into the chest, followed by the other, taking hold of the legs and rocking side to side. And when you feel ready, roll onto your right side. With your right side grounded by the earth, leaving your left side open to the sun, the moon, and the stars, and all the gifts the universe has to offer you today. When you feel ready, come up to a comfortable seated position. We'll take the hands, place them in front of the heart, close the eyes one last time, take a deep inhale in, and exhale it all out. Thank you for sharing your practice with me this evening. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.